My name's Thomas Waddle. This is a Whisky Sour Hour. Hope you're all having a good week. It is Saturday, so you know what that means. Episode, and just to kind of go over some things. You know, there's been some issues with royalties rights to songs. I can't believe that's even a thing that we're having to talk about. But unfortunately, there was some things flagged by Spotify. If you are following the socials, you will have saw that we are clear and do not need to worry about that anymore. So that is a nice little nice little relaxing kind of thing. But by the time we'd got round to recording this, I didn't want to take the chance and have like the music. So hopefully, all things going well next week, music and everything will be back. So you're not just pressing play and you're hearing the dulcet tones. So that is an exciting thing. But this week's show, just wanted to kind of cover a couple of things. That's obviously we were off last weekend. A couple of things that came out. Obviously, we take the weekend off just due to stuff, and GTA gets cancelled. GTA the launch gets cancelled. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. It gets postponed for the third time, I think. So hopefully the third time's a charm with this and it doesn't move again. But going all the way back to November next year, we'll talk about that. But the first things first, I wanted to just cover a show that, to be honest, I had very little expectations. I thought the trailers were very poor considering the quality of team that were in place. But Plurbase on Apple Plus, or Apple TV now, it's not Apple TV Plus anymore. Plurbase, Vince Gilligan's new show. Anybody who doesn't know Vince Gilligan, for the last almost 20 years, he'd been basically making, some of the best TV going. You had your Breaking Bads and then Better Call Sauls. This is his follow-up series, starring Rhea Seaborn as the most unhappy person in the world. That's the way the trailers kind of put it out there, and I thought, is this going to be like, like is she just going to be like moody and everybody's trying to kind of cheer her up and that? Within maybe half an hour of the first episode, I was like, these trailers have not done this justice. It is amazing, and I don't really want to go into too much detail, because if you watch the trailers, and I would say maybe watch them just purely because it doesn't give anything away, as in the context of what's going on. You'll remember scenes when you're watching, but you won't actually be like, what, like, hold on, this is recontextualising everything. So it's kind of funny, it's kind of dark, it's kind of twisted, it's kind of light, kind of not. It's so many different things, but yet again, Apple TV are just absolutely smashing it on the sci-fi front, because it is a kind of sci-fi show. When you watch it, you'll understand. The actual premise is just so, I don't want to say so simple, but you've seen stuff kind of like it before, but never done like this, which I suppose kind of gives it that kind of familiarity. But what's happening? Sort of mystique. So listen, it's going to be that show. I think it's going to take over or fill at least the space. A Severance, it's already got a season 2 booked, which sometimes I'm like, that's great. Obviously, we want a season 2, but at the same time, sometimes a mini series is great. Mayor of Easttown, just recently watched that. Task, recently watched that. Amazing, but you're like, as much as I would love to see more, I'm in no rush. The pressure that comes, especially when a show ends in a cliffhanger now, I imagine the series will be pretty kind of self-contained. I imagine it will have like ideas. Vince Gilligan doesn't strike me as somebody who doesn't plan ahead, so I imagine it's going to have basically like a premise. I think they said four seasons is what they're aiming for. So going from there, it'll be hopefully a satisfying season. The last thing I want after Alien Earth is something really. I don't want to say disappointing. I just don't want to be cliffhangered. I'm a bit jaded with it. The good thing being, Alien Earth actually got a season 2 announcement about 2 or 3 days ago. Hopefully sooner. Goodness gracious, sooner than later. That yeah, listen, these things, TV shows now are as big as movies, so it's one of the ones. Like if it comes out in 2 years, I think we'll be lucky. How did they do Game of Thrones for? Was it 7 seasons consecutively for 7 years, and then you had a 2 year break to the last one, which at the time you're like, you know what, I don't mind, fill it with everything I want, and then it comes out and you're like, oh no, they've ruined it. Don't want to beating it too much, but yeah, the actual getting back to the show, because that was a tangent, but there was a lot of information that I think is quite interesting there. Rhea Seaborn is just like, if you watch Better Call Saul, she can play like the kind of like hard ass characters that are also kind of funny and like really likable, and straight away you like this character. She basically plays. This is within the first 10 minutes. Again, not ruining the overall story, but giving you an idea of what her character is. She plays a character. Our character is a writer of a fantasy novel that I think probably is one of these. Is it A Court of Thorns? I think it's called. Like these. A little bit saucy romance novels with like elves and whatever, and it's like the fandom, and it's really funny when you see her dealing with our fans. That to me is like the balance that you want, because like, I'm not saying it's a horror, but I think when something is so mundane as a book signing, when it does escalate, it just kind of puts it into perspective. Like, this is where we were, this is where we're going now, and there is some stuff in it where you're like, man, that's quite dark, So it's definitely worth a watch. It if when this goes up, you'll have three. I nearly said free. I was about to vomit. Can't be having that. It's got 3 episodes that'll be out. I think there's 8 that are planned, so it'll take us all the way up to Christmas Eve, which is what? I really started kind of timing. I think it was last year. I think it was when I was watching The Penguin. It was like the first week in September to the end of October. You're like, what's going on here? 8 weeks just flying by, and it'll be Christmas in no time. So yeah, it takes us all the way up to Christmas Eve. It's either Christmas Eve or Boxing Day, one of the two. Probably Boxing Day now that I've said that, but it takes us all the way up to there. Apple TV just are absolutely smashing it. To get Vince Gilligan, who arguably is the most consistent writer in TV at the moment, I would say, he must be getting a pretty penny, and he's well looked after, and he's probably at the right place. There's all these talk of Warner Brothers getting bought by all these different companies, Paramount, Netflix. To be honest, I think if Apple were to buy them, yes, and that's like the kind of best scenario. I think Apple seem to know exactly what they're doing, considering I don't use any of their tech at all. Their TV and streaming is it's pretty good, and their films, I think Greyhound, I don't know if they made that or they bought it during COVID, but listen, it's a great movie, man. It's so good. So listen, if you're going to watch anything, Bloodbase is the way to go. So that was just obviously a quick kind of catch up with what TV I would recommend, just because it's a kind of slow news week. Last week, obviously, there was no episode. You're thinking, right, let's just recoup and kind of get ourselves ready for the week coming, and then the megaton bomb of GTA being postponed, delayed, comes out. I couldn't quite believe it, if I'm being honest. It was a bit taken by surprise. Does not do it justice. I kind of sat. I think I ended up. You remember the scene in Casino Royale when I think it's James Bond and Vesper Lynn getting the fight, and the guy ends up getting killed, and then in the shower just like controlling one another. That was me when it came out. Listen, I enjoy a game. We spoke about Alan Wake 2, which I'm still in the middle of playing, just because I don't have a great deal of time to play games these days. I enjoy them, especially when something big comes out. I don't think people realise just how big GTA is when things are moving out its way. It's not just other games like, it's coming out, I think now November 19, 2026. It's not just a case of we're going to get out its way. It's like when that starts to, maybe in like May next year, which is when it was originally supposed to come out. When it get to that point next year, I can guarantee you'll see films getting out its way. It's that we mentioned a megaton bomb earlier. That is what the release of this is going to be. It's going to, I think, small countries' GDPs are going to change, and to be honest, the game itself is probably going to be bigger than GDPs of many small countries, probably even Scotland. Although ours might change for the better, considering Rockstar North are like our lads. That's one thing about GTA. I think it has like a very Scottish sense of humour, and it's one to be proud of. It's the biggest gaming franchise, the biggest entertainment franchise outside. I mean, like obviously, like, Pokemon is the biggest like entertainment franchise, but the sort of paradigm shifting like energy that comes from a GTA release is something else. I mean, I grew up. GTA has always been kind of like a part, but not many people remember a time before GTA 3 when it was over the top. It wasn't. It was a top down, over the top, like violence and stuff on a PlayStation, and it was fine, but you wasn't really writing home about it. And then when you put GTA 3 on, and it just changed everything. Like the games, it made its open world. It made like the amount of clones that came out. No, don't get me wrong, some of the games are good. True Crime Streets LA holds a very soft spot in my heart, but you do not, go for the crown. You're a pretender. As much as I love that game, it was trying to kind of ridicule Vice City, which you just don't do that. I mean, the fact that Vice City was turned around in, I think it was 13 months between the GTA 3 and Vice City coming out, that is wild. 2 years to San Andreas, and then I think it was 4 years to GTA 4. Obviously, the times are just getting bigger and bigger now, and by the time this one comes out, will have been over 13 years since GTA 5. So when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be 13 years. Is crazy. I mean, it's one of those ones as well. I remember when GTA 5 came out, and I mean we've done a whole episode on GTA, but I don't think this little anecdote was in there. But I remember when it came out, financially I was okay. I wasn't like well off, and I'd said to myself, look, just wait, you can buy it when it's in sale. And I was in, I think it was like the Paisley Centre, and I was a support worker at the time, so I had a client, and we'd been to the hospital, and you had to get like 2 buses, so we had to wait for the bus back to the town, and we were in the Paisley Centre. I used to be like a wee, I don't know, it was a game centre or something. It was at the bottom of the kind of the escalators, if you know where that is, in the Paisley Centre, and I was just looking, and he was like, Grand Theft Auto, and I was like, aye, so it is. He's like, is that new? I was like, uh-huh. And he's like, you going to buy it? I was like, nah, I'm probably going to wait. He's like, you're going to wait for this? And I was like, aye, I think I will. And he called me a pussy. And I was like, excuse me? And I kind of, something in the back of my mind, I went back to being a teenager in the schoolyard. And I was like, no, I'm no. I'll do it. And I went and bought it. On work time, like highly inappropriate buying that in work time, and I did it, and did not regret it at all. 13 years, but like that is just, listen, take as long as you need. I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto that said, was a delayed game is good no matter what. Like, or a bad game is, bad forever. A delayed game is just delayed. Something along those lines. I'm not very good at kind of proverbs here, but yeah, it's a gaming proverb. And 13 years seems like a long time, and I love them. I know we've had Red Dead in between them, but remember, between like 2010 in 2013, we had Red Dead Redemption 1, Max Payne, and then Grand Theft Auto. And I think there was I'm sure there was GTA DLCs, so even if you were to go back to 2008, you had the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost of the Damned, which were massive expansions. You had Undead Nightmare. Like, Rockstar were like just cooking with gas, and then, I don't want to be the guy. But obviously, GTA Online's massive. It's still getting updates these days. People are sinking hours and hours and hours into it. And the reality is, it's probably very little work to make a update for it that people are going to go daft for. They're going to be making plenty of money off it. Like, I get it. It's hard to get out of bed when you've got silk jammies on. You know what I'm saying? I totally get it. But guys, figure out. Come on, and I know there's off the back of this delay, I think there was maybe some sort of tactical reasoning behind it. I think maybe it's a weird one, because like reading about it, basically there's been a sacking of 40 Rockstar employees, and you're reading some places it was to stop basically a joining. I was going to say an agency. The word escapes me. It was it was basically stop striking action. What's the word here? That is terrible. I am forgetting here. So I was going to say ACAS. It's certainly not ACAS. What are we doing here? It's arbitration. That doesn't matter. Anyway, it was like 40 employees, and they were going to join. Yeah, the word's there. I actually cannot see it, which is ridiculous. Anyway, 40 employees were looking to join a body, and supposedly Rockstar fired them for that. Then I was reading that these 40 employees were in a Discord server, and that there was gross misconduct in there. Now, some people are saying that could be something as small as speaking about, if you've signed an NDA, speaking about GTA, showing maybe screenshots for the game, because if you remember, there was huge leaks, and we knew this game was coming we've probably known for about 5 years, and then you're like, there's probably, to be honest, there's a middle ground to that, where you're thinking there's probably been a bit of something that they probably have like done strikes or planned strikes, and if that would delay the game anyway, and then they're like, right, it's probably been a bit of twistedness, and it's got out of hand. I'm just delivering the information I know. It's I don't want to assume anything. I think there's 3 sides to every story, and it's about getting to the bottom of that. It's just came back to me there. Unions. There was union busting is what it was. So I can't believe I even let that happen. This is taken from during the editing process. I had to jump back on and just do that, because I know somebody's going to be like ripping their hair out, going, "It's a union, you're going to do union busting." So that is the reason that a lot of people are thinking this firings have been happening. There's supposedly been gross misconduct. I imagine there's been a bit of everything happening. There's probably chat of GTA 6 in these Discord servers, probably a bit of union chat. Folk are losing their jobs there. It's not very nice. Should folk have their chats monitored? If you're talking on like Teams and it's work Teams, then I don't know if the employer has a right to do that, but I just think you're leaving yourself wide open there. Try and do these things, and the DL perhaps maybe would be what to do. But anyway, I'm going to get back to editing. Send you back to, let's get back in time here to where we were. But just a quick one, just to kind of go over the landscape. It's a bit weird, just everything that's going on. Pluribus, definitely go and watch it. It's unreal. 3 episodes in, can't wait to see where it goes. And I mean, when this episode goes live, it'll be the 15th of November. Will only be, I think, just 369 days to GTA, unless there's another postponement, which, listen, stranger things have happened. But I think if we draw a line here, I think we should be getting it. But obviously we don't want to see people losing their jobs, etc. So we'll leave it at that. It was getting a wee bit heavy there. I just felt myself kind of spiralling. So I'm just going to pull myself back, and we'll leave it at that. If you want to get in touch with the show, you can always do it through our socials at thewhiskeysourhour.com. If you want to contact us via email, it's contact@thewhiskeysourhour.com. As always, I've been Thomas Waddle. This has been the Whisky Sour Hour. Cheers.